Michael Geoghegan is a political consultant. He joins me now from Victoria, BC. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So the Liberals and the NDP are the two frontrunners in the election. What kind of campaign can we expect them to run?
Well, I think for the BC Liberals, this is a chance for them to try and put forward the argument that, look, British Columbia's economy has done relatively well under their stewardship. Now is not the time to change course. What the NDP is banking on is that there is a majority of British Columbians who feel that it is time for a change. The only viable alternative to the governing Liberals is the NDP. So polls indicate that the majority of British Columbians do want change, so they're feeling very confident, but they're not taking it for granted.
How have the recent ethnic vote scandals, as well as other scandals over the years, affected the Liberals' chances for a win?
Well, first of all, the leader, Christy Clark, I mean, she came in, and any leader would have faced a big problem because her predecessor, Gordon Campbell, he had introduced the HST in a very high-handed manner that greatly offended British Columbians. And, referendum legislation was used in order to force a vote on that, and the HST went down to defeat. Second of all, there was a lingering smell around the BC Rail scandal. So those were two major deficits that any successor to Gordon Campbell would have struggled with. Then the Ethnogate scandal, this memo, very cynically written in terms of how to basically work and manipulate different ethnic communities in order to secure their support. My understanding, it was a disaffected staff person in the Premier's office who leaked it. And this is the sort of things that happens when governments are behind in the polls. You have upset staff people, they figure, hey, we're going down to defeat anyways. I'm going to, do some stuff that if they were ahead in the polls likely wouldn't have gotten leaked.
Do you think that the NDP has a considerable lead over the Liberals because the Liberals have done things wrong, or because the NDP is doing things right?
Well, there's an old saying in politics, when a government is falling, it's the role of the opposition to get out of the way. And Adrian Dix has done a very masterful job of, making sure the NDP didn't say or do anything that made people go, oh, wait a sec, we don't really want to consider them a viable alternative. So he has run a very tightly controlled operation. Although his politics are very different to that of Stephen Harper, his management style is similar to that of Stephen Harper. So you're going to see he's going to keep a tight rein on his candidates, he's going to keep a tight rein on his campaign and make sure that no one says or does anything that's going to derail their campaign, because they know the only way they can lose this election is if he or a number of his candidates make a serious gaffe.
What has each party included in their platform?
Well, there's a number of different things. First of all, the Liberals rolled out a budget. There was a percentage point increase for corporations. There was also a tax increase for those making $150,000 a year or more. But there was also some programs in terms of education funding and other dollars to assist families, but they were down the road. They're also putting forward a plan in terms of liquid natural gas, where they want to create a fund much like Alberta's Heritage Fund, which would eventually pay off the province's debt. The NDP, on the other hand, they've said we're going to bump up the corporate income tax rate by another percentage point. They're also going to impose a tax on financial institutions, a corporate capital tax, and some of the other things that are in the budget that the Liberals adopted, they said they're going to change. So and meanwhile, the BC Conservatives, which are a very distant third, they're saying, well, there isn't a big difference between what the Liberals and the NDPers are offering British Columbians. So it's a very interesting race that way. All
right, certainly. Michael Geoghegan is a political consultant from Victoria. We really appreciate your time and expertise. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
CTV